All right.
So it's the first Spartan Strength and Power
May
podcast.
1st. May 1st. Yeah. 2015. Day one, essentially.
First podcast. So first off, we got going on today is the launch of the website.
Launch the website. Well, it's not day one. Essentially, we've already been going for about a month with the kids, our off-season cycle, but it is day one. So
our first success cycle has been underway. We have the launch of the website. I feel like this is like beginning one. This is the day we're gonna remember the most.
Probably, you're probably right. Just because May 1st, it's a boom. We're ready to rock.
Definite, ready to go. So first thing we have Coach Beal. Go ahead. First, everybody, give a little intro about yourself. What's your background? Why should people listen to you?
Well, they'd be smart to listen to me.
That's true.
Very smart. My name is Blaine Beal. Wrestled at University of Northern Iowa. D1 collegiate wrestler. NCAA national qualifier. World Trials qualifier for 2011 freestyle. Varsity starter. Pretty good matches. Over 500 at least.
Pretty good. Yeah.
No. It was good. It was a great time. Learned a lot of stuff while I was at University of Northern Iowa. I was there for 5 years. Got redshirted my freshman year, and got to be under Doug Schwab for 3 years. That I think molded me to be the coach that I am today. I don't think I'd be any type of successful as far as coaching or anything without his guidance, honestly. So props to him. But you'll find out more and more about each of us as we go on through. This isn't going to be the last. It's only the first. So Coach Mitch Policky.
Yep.
Policky.
It's tough. That's why I had everybody just call me Coach Mitch.
My Siri, every time I try to put your name in, it just says, calling Mitch Policky.
Well, Siri always messes everything up.
I try to call my brother too, and I'm like, call Kyle Beal, and I'll go, calling Kyle Beal.
Siri can never get it right. See, that's why I'm droid through and through. She gets it right. So background is former Navy veteran. Played football in high school, no major sports coming out of high school. Could have walked on maybe D3, T2 school, but just went to the military route instead. Then during the military, got really involved in strength and conditioning and became kind of the gym rat, sports nerd. And as soon as I got out, interned at LGN Sports Performance for a little while. Learned more there, schooling, learning more about strength and conditioning, the whole aspect of anatomy and certain adaptations in the sports, exercise science, and also weightlifting coach. Picked up the sport of weightlifting the past year and 2 months and done fairly well. About 5 kilos away from national qualifying total.
Yeah.
So hopefully already qualified for University of American Open, and we'll see what June is the next meet. We'll see if I can get those extra 5 kilos on that snatch, man.
I don't know. Yeah. So I guess introductions out of the way. Like I said, we're gonna go over plenty. You'll get to know us pretty well, so it's always a good thing. No, seriously, you'll get to know us pretty well in the coming months. We're gonna be trying to do these pretty regularly, if not every 2 weeks or definitely every month. But we're gonna be trying to cram Spartan Strength and Power
down everybody's throats,
down the throats and then the masses. So I guess the next question would be Coach Mitch, Coach Beal, why Spartan Strength and Power? Like, why should I even care?
It's a good question.
That is a great question. That's usually the question that's going to be on everybody's tongue when we come in rolling in. But listen, a big monstrous guy like you, a big good-looking guy like me. Our good looks are only going to drive so far.
Yeah,
so.
I think one thing I've realized about this program that sets us apart from any other kind of gym or any other program I've seen. I don't know about you, but it's a good thing, but at the same time, it kind of is bad on some people. We care a little bit too much, and like we're like this is like what we love to do.
We do care.
And when you have that mixed in with what you're doing, it's great. You're gonna be successful at what you do, but like you just do it all the time, I guess.
I don't think you can. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. I think I know what you're saying as far as we care too much, but we're stern. We're not letting anybody walk all over us in that aspect, but we care a significant amount on.
I guess I should say we're always thinking about this.
Yeah.
We're always trying to progress. I mean, even this current success cycle, the 12 kids we have.
Oh, we're all in.
Yeah, I mean, always mentally, every time I have a practice, I'm thinking, okay, what did he do yesterday that he's not doing today? And you know, we have meetings about kids.
And you're right in that aspect, but in a sense, every program that we're going to come across that are going to match up to us or we're going to match up to them, they're going to have that same philosophy, or at least think that they have that same philosophy. You know what I mean? They're going to feel that their contribution is more important and impressing on athletes than the next. So I mean, I guess you're absolutely right. Like our style of coaching, the way that we have our staff, and it is set apart. I mean, we've got all D1 athletes for the wrestling aspect, and we've got a USAW certified coach that's with the lifting. Our credentials speak for themselves, but in a sense, I mean, you know that you could be a phenomenal athlete, but if you don't know how to relay the message or communicate, you ain't worth anything. So I think we do that very well. I think we tell them, listen, or we not tell them, that's a terrible word, but we instill in them, listen, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this to obtain the goal that you want. Now there's the big thing that I like to do, and I think that you do it as well, is that we see kids as individuals and not as a group. You know, I mean, we don't see them as, well, you're a 14, 15-year-old kid, so you need to be doing this, doing this, doing this. There's set guidelines, stuff that you know, with my movement exercise science degree that I got in college, there was a lot of follow step A, B, C, and D. But that works, 65, 70% of the time. Yeah, you're going to find kids, but for that 30% outlier, there are kids that don't respond well to that. And we look at kids individually. Each kid needs to learn a move in the way that they need to learn the move. I can't just say, all right, guys, we're going to do the high crotch and then go off and do it. Or you're not going to say, okay, guys, you need to all, keep your core straight as you go down. Because, 3 or 4 kids might get it right, but the other 6 or 7 are going to be like, what?
That's what one thing really kind of turned the light bulb on for me was cues. Different cues for things like, just like you were saying. I remember when I was training in California a few months ago at Catalyst Athletics, and Greg Everett told me, like, push through the floor. Push through the floor, and instead of, everybody saying, whenever you're in the bottom of a clean, you're standing up, like, and he's right. You know which direction to go. I don't care if you told what direction to go. Just keep pushing, push, and those cues. And it's so weird because different people have different cues, and I see it every time I coach somebody, especially with lifting. It's like, okay, some people you do have to say, okay, I want you to pull up, and some people you do have to say, I want you to pull under the bar. It's different, and I'm sure it's the same thing with wrestling.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I try to do that with, they get in on a shot, instead of telling them to, get your hips under you. I mean, yeah, that's a part of it. It's run your feet, run your feet, or head up. That's a cue. It's a cue to, if I get my head up, my hips will come in, my chest will come up. If I get my head up, I'm not going to stand like this with my head up. No, already my chest is going to come up, my hips are going to try to come underneath me, and I'm going to try to run my feet.
Yeah.
Opposed to getting my hips in, my hips might try to come in, but my head's still down, or he's doing something. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think the cues are huge in coaching, and knowing what type of cues are going to work for each kid.
Yeah, and it's something you kind of have to play around with each person individual. I mean, even kids, clients, whoever you're coaching in general, you just kind of have to try different things for them to try and still.
So you just brought up a good point for all clients. So this is Spartan Strength and Power Conditioning Program. Is it just athletes or is it just young kids? I mean, what are we doing?
Well, it's young kids and it's also clients. Anybody who wants to better themselves. So we have weightlifting, Olympic style weightlifting taught by me. And then, I'm sure there's other people there's tournaments like the Corn Top tournament. Mm-hmm. There's other people that want to get better at wrestling.
Get ready for the Corn Top Nationals.
Someday.
Someday. Where, I keep on talking to them, but somehow there's this next lifting meet. I'm
trying to get big, all right? Come on.
Yeah.